Alright guys, let's get into some meta tactics again. It's going to be 4-4-1-1 this go round. These are the tactics. Oh no, why is this not letting me? Oh, there we go. These are the tactics that I've been using in the higher divisions, on division rivals, and on the gauntlet as well. I didn't really use this on foot champs. On foot champs I use 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, and 4-5-1. But I've also been experimenting on the gauntlet. That's why I like the gauntlet and stuff like that. And division rivals, because I get to experiment with new tactics, see what works, what doesn't. But yeah, I know you guys don't want to hear me rant, so let's get into the actual tactics. If you guys just want to see the code, there goes the code up there. Lower Harry, upper Joe, number 7, upper Leo, lower Omar, upper Nancy, money sign number 3, lower Robert, lower teacher, upper Harry, lower Joe. Those are the tactics. That's the code. If you guys just want to head out now, all right, I'll catch you guys on the next one. But please hit that like and hit that subscribe button so I can continue making videos for you guys. Appreciate it. But let's get into how you can kind of customize it for your own liking, how you want to play, how you want to build up, all that good stuff. So I do build up style balance, leave it there. I am playing a high line right now. I'm playing 67. If you guys have seen my other videos, I usually play at 70. But post patch, I had to drop it just a little bit. Reason why I had to drop it is because a lot of people are playing with 3-man midfields. So they're either playing a 4-4-1, 4-4-1-1, or they're playing a 4-5-1. Or a 4-1-4-1, something like that with a 3-man midfield. So they're making their center mids run forward as almost like either box to box or playmakers. And so they're running into those half spaces after the wingers have already opened up the fullbacks, and they leave that area open, if that makes sense, to just be able to send a through ball. So I kind of had to drop it a little bit deeper. Not even much, 3 notches, but it makes a difference. So you can kind of drop back a little bit more with your center mids and or your CDM center mids, whatever. So you can kind of try to cut those passing lanes, if that makes sense. But if it's too much of a high line for you, you can go ahead and drop it to about 60. Kind of work right there. That's about as high as you can go. That's balanced, so you don't really step out of line too much, so your back line of 4 doesn't really break. Or you can even drop it to about 50. Excuse me. I was experimenting at 47. 47 is all right too. They do drop a little bit deeper. They don't drop too deep. But if you want a little bit more of a press so you can counter them, if you want to play a little bit faster, then I recommend playing like around 60, 67, somewhere around there. Let's get into the actual player roles. So this is how it looks like whenever you're defending a 4-4-1-1, 2 banks of 4, a cam, and then 1 striker. Perfect way to actually press and steal the ball. But when you're attacking, this is how you're going to attack. So you got your back line of 4. You got 1 box-to-box, 1 deep line playmaker. So you got like 1 more attacking center mid, 1 more defensive-minded. You got your inside forwards, your shadow striker that acts like a secondary striker, and then your advanced forward. And I'll go over everything now. Goalie, you can play whatever you want. I do have ball-playing keeper. I think that's because he does have the plus on there. But also when I'm playing a very high line and they do try to hit those counters, so they do the over-the-top counters, he's usually right there, almost like a super keeper. He's just a little bit higher, so he does clear out the ball faster. Oops. Both center backs are going to be defend on both of them. You leave them as is. Now, I don't really like experimenting with those. I just kind of, they're perfect the way they are. All right, now, I'm going to rant for like 30 seconds. Fullbacks, I have them both on versatile. So what that means is that they might go a little bit forward or they might drop a little bit deeper depending on the situation and where you're at. The only reason why is because I do a lot of L1, R1 triggers, so I make them go forward anyways or I make them drop back anyways, right? And I like to play from the back but through the wings a lot. So I do a lot of quick 1-2s with left back, left mid, a lot of quick 1-2s with right back, right mid, and do over the top through balls. That's usually how I like to play. Now, if you don't like the versatile instruction, if they bomb a little bit too forward for your liking, then you can go ahead and switch it to defend. I just want to give a little bit more of an attacking presence whenever I'm building up. It just helps your defensive, how do I want to say it? It helps your fullback step up a little bit more whenever you're doing quick 1-2s and whenever you're getting out of a press. Experiment to see if you like it. If you don't, then just drop it to defend. Your left center mid is going to be deep line playmaker defend. So this is more of your like a CDM, like your destroyer, your more defensive-minded center mid. Your right mid is more of your box-to-box center mid. So box-to-box and ball winning. Ball winning just allows them to be a little bit more defensively minded whenever they are dropping deep. So it's almost like they get into the cut passing lanes instruction from years ago. So they get in the way to try to steal the ball as much as you can, which is what I really, really like. Your left mid is inside forward balance, so they cut inside. Same thing. Right mid, same thing. Inside forward balance. Just inside forward is probably the best for the wingers. They just cut inside a lot into those half spaces. If you guys don't know what half spaces are, it's the space right here in between the center back and the right back, or the space between the center back and the left back. They just abuse those little half spaces a lot, which is really good, which is what makes left mid, right mid really good in the attack, and then you can do finesse shots to cut inside. Now, this is very, 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 very important. Shadow striker attack on your cam. The reason why is because they're going to act like a secondary striker. So whenever you have shadow striker with the advanced forward plus attack instruction, if you send this player on a run with the L1 trigger, they're just going to bomb forward. They're going to push your opponent's defensive line back. Whenever they push the opponent's defensive line back, this guy will act like a second striker and just run right behind. So then you can do, well, I know R1 dribble kind of got nerfed a little bit, but you can still do a little bit of R1 dribble, or you can do a finesse shot, Trivela, whatever, outside of the box, inside of the box, whatever. It's because your main striker is pushing your opponent's defensive line back. So then you got freedom to dribble with the cam, and you can kind of do whatever you want. Especially with so much people, like, okay, let's say you push your opponent's defensive line back with your striker. They're all the way back. They're getting like close to their goalie, basically. The shadow striker is right behind, has the ball, is dribbling. You can do like a feint to the right and then go back to the left, and then you're going to be free to score. Just because there's nobody marking them unless they man mark with their center mids, because the striker is pushing your opponent's defensive line back. So it just acts like a second striker. Or another thing, let's say you get your ball with your cam, you do a quick 1-2 with the striker, you pass it to the striker holds the ball, the cam will literally run around into those half spaces, and then you can do over the top through ball to him and he'll be free. So make sure as your secondary striker here on cam, put an actual secondary striker or somebody that can do shadow striker plus at least, and that can finish the ball. Cool. All right, those are the tactics and instructions. Go ahead and hit that like and hit that subscribe button, please. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.